Fuck, did I? No. No, we're good. We're all good. What's going on, everyone? What's up? Just let this go for a second here and let it fill. We'll let it fill. What do you think about psychotic pre-workout? Santi, who makes it? I've never heard of it. Hi there, can you do an example upper body workout? I would start off with your push compounds like a chest press, shoulder press, tricep press. Then I would do some sort of lat movement and then an upper back movement, and then probably a bicep curl and a lateral raise, and I would call it at that. You look a little bit like Luke from No Switch Fitness. Yeah, I think kinda. I think I have a longer beard than he does, and he's bigger than me. But that's a good person to be compared to. I have a lot of respect for Luke. Very smart guy. Insane labs. Santi, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really use a whole lot of pre-workouts like that, so. Do you believe in evolution or creationism, or a mix of both? I believe in creationism. I was raised in the church. I haven't gone to church in a long time, but I was raised in a Christian background, so that's what I believe. I wouldn't say that I'm like super like ridiculously Christian, but I do believe that. But Luke is awesome, I agree. Do you coach? Carlos, I do. If you're interested, then you can go to my profile, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, doesn't matter, and I have a link tree, and then in my link tree I have a application for you to fill out. Pre-workout is so beta. Yeah, dude, I really think that people are spending a ton of money on like just flavored caffeine. Look, we know that citrulline and beta-alanine and all of that stuff works, and we know what it does, but like really the main thing that you're paying for is the caffeine and the energy, and like you don't need to fucking buy a $50 $60 pre-workout to get that. So that's my opinion. What's the craziest cycle you've ever done? I've done 2 cycles in my entire life. My first one was 300 milligrams of testosterone, and my second one was 350. So the craziest cycle I have ever done in my entire life is 350 milligrams of testosterone. Most people's first cycle is much bigger than that. What's your interpretation of 1 Timothy 2:12? Look, guys, I don't really want to get into religion a whole lot. So, with all due respect, Kush God, I don't really want to get into it because I don't want to start the snowball. How much you bench for PR? I literally have no fucking clue. I have not barbell benched with the exception of quarantine and like, I don't even know, dude. Probably 5 years for real. Actually, I would probably say 3, not 5. I would say 3. Let's see. Thoughts on flat Earth, Kelvin? It's fucking real, bro. I almost drove off once. It was pretty wild. Thoughts on flat Earth. Dude, 2 grams of Lavelle, Joseph, dude, you gotta chill, bro. I'm gonna block you if you just keep spamming my chat like this. Opinions on MK677. I've never used it. I'm not a fan of SARMs. I don't think that SARMs really have a place. I would much rather use gear than use SARMs, and I would feel better about telling people to take gear than take SARMs, because with the gear you at least know what you can get for side effects. The thing with SARMs is that SARMs are so new comparatively to steroids, is that we don't know what the long-term health implications of SARMs are yet, and we probably won't know for another like 20 to 30 years what long-term effects on SARMs are. So I don't even waste my time with SARMs, and I don't entertain them. Your jawline looks punchable. Who are you? Chicagoland real estate. Interesting. Is barbell bench not optimal? I wouldn't say it's not optimal. I mean, there are tons of people that have done barbell bench, and it's super good movement. I just don't like it personally, but I wouldn't say it's not optimal. White boy Muslim, how you doing, man? What's going on? So as I'm recording this live right now, I'm also rendering my latest YouTube video, which is TikTok Q&A that I did. So if you're somebody who submitted a question for that and I answered it, hopefully I'll have that up for you in a day or so. What's the best way to bring dumbbells up when doing dumbbell flat bench or incline? What do you mean by bring dumbbells up, Brad? Do you mean like kick them to you, or like increase your poundages? What do you mean by that? Do you get stared at in public because you're a bodybuilder? No, dude, because I'm really not that impressively big. So, no. Not at all. Do you have any knowledge on androgel? No, I've never heard of that before. Yeah, I can't help you there. Androgel. No. Can't say that I have. Did you make your coaching sheets yourself, looking for help making mine? Yes, I did. I did make my own coaching sheets. I'm trying to be a bodybuilder. I'm just not at the point where everyone stares at me. Yeah, me either. Yeah, me either. I'm not that big. I'm not big enough to where I go in and people look at me. So... kick them. Yeah, I put them on top of my knees. I put them on top of my knees, and then as I lay back on the bench and my legs come up off the ground, I just bring the dumbbells with me. When doing an upper-lower split, how many sets per body part on upper days? It entirely depends on your body's recovery capabilities. There's no set number that I could give you. Do you have clients? Yes, I do. Love it, Joseph, I do. I have plenty. And I have plenty that are continuing to apply. Thoughts on arachidinic acid? I don't know anything about it. Man, I get asked so many questions what my thoughts are on all of these like muscle building things that just aren't steroids. If it's supposed to be like a muscle builder or like a hormone booster and it's legal, it probably doesn't work. That's the reality. For your lat pull downs, I wonder if Prime Ronnie got stared at. What do you think is overlooked more by most people, intensity or recovery? Probably recovery. Because you're limited with how do I even want to word this? Your recovery is like the thing that like gatekeeps everything. You can only do what you can recover from. Or excuse me, you can only grow from what you can recover from. So I think recovery is way more overlooked than by most people. Recovery. Gear is the way to go, but yeah, if you're talking about like comparing gear between fucking all of these SARMs and shit, like yeah, dude, seriously, just take gear. You're better off just taking gear. But vitamins and ashwagandha help muscle building. Yeah. Keep spending your money, buddy. I've been training for a year and want to be strong and aesthetic. Is it fine to do at the same time? Yeah, of course. How to lower myostatin? I don't think that's really quite possible, at least not to my knowledge. I think if there were like myostatin inhibitors and stuff that people were using, like we would all know about them. But what's your favorite thing to do for recovery outside of off days and sleep? Jeruzy, just overall managing stress. And I mean, you say outside of off days or sleep, but those are really like the two most important things is making sure you're resting and then making sure you're getting sleep and getting good quality sleep. So yeah, I mean, outside of that, man, just like overall relaxing, just like trying to take my mind off of bodybuilding for a little bit. Shit, I forgot to do this. I always do it in every live what my drink is. Today I'm drinking water. Good old water. No diet sodas on this one. I hit 8 reps on a hack squat last week. I got 8 this week, but a spotter got me +2 progress. No, I probably wouldn't consider it progress because the last 2 you didn't get on your own. I mean, you tied performance, which isn't bad, but I wouldn't consider that progress, personally. Hey, Matt Rohrer, how you doing, bro? I'm doing good, man. I worked this morning, and then I came home and I edited a YouTube video, which I'm rendering right now, and now I'm doing this. Now I'm doing this live, so it's been a pretty good day so far. Just curious why you go only one dumbbell on your split squats, because that's how I've done split squats for 8 years, and this is how I've always done them. Is it fine to train every 4 days, Monday and Friday? Yeah, that'd be fine. I mean, I wouldn't expect to make crazy progress doing that, but you can do it. You can maintain muscle doing that, probably. Because they're much easier to get for most. Yeah, but there's a reason why they're easier to get, is because they don't do shit. They're garbage. How to come back? I assume you mean like how to come back to the gym after a deload. I would just go back to the gym. Go back at the volume that you left off at. Maybe slightly less if you're still tired, but just pick up where you left off. Your beard is elite, by the way. Thanks, Clayton. I appreciate it. How long have you been lifting? Probably, I don't know, 7-8 years. I respect how hard you work in life. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. There's another gear, though. We can always work harder. Have you tried the Mountain Dew Spark Zero? I have not, Lucas, but I see it all the time. And every time I see it, I'm like, fuck, I should buy that and try it. And I haven't yet. But Lucas, what are your thoughts? I've heard that it's pretty good. Isn't it like, is it like a raspberry or like a strawberry, like lemonade type flavor or something? Or like what is the flavor supposed to be? I know that it's like pink in the bottle, but what's the flavor actually supposed to be? For smaller muscle groups such as arms, how many sessions should I see progression in reps or load? I mean, there's no set number that I can give you. Over time, you should be progressing in reps or load. If that means you go up every session, then you go up every session. If that means you hit a performance and then the next session you tie it, and then the next one you get a rep, and then the next one you tie that one, then the next one you get a rep, and it comes really slow, like then it comes over time. But there's no like set number of sessions, just as long as like over time it's going up. What's your favorite not optimal exercise? Oh, Druzy, that's a great question. Oh man. What is my favorite not optimal exercise? I really like dumbbell laterals. Like I don't mind dumbbell laterals at all. And I also like barbell row. I like to barbell row. I haven't barbell rowed in a long time, but I like to barbell row. Those are probably my two. Druzy, that's a great question, man. I don't think I've ever been asked that question before. Are you depressed? No, I'm not. I'm all good, bro. I was watching some of your videos. I see you have one set for an exercise. What's up with that? So you're looking at the working sets. And I train with low volume because I train with high frequency. So, and when you train muscles more frequently, you can't train them with as much volume because you don't have as much time to recover. And so I would rather train, sorry guys, that's my rice cooker. I would, give me a second, let me let this fucking rice cooker go off. I train with lower volume so that I can train the muscle more frequently. Do you think someone can sleep better if starts in a bulk? Gonzalo, I don't necessarily understand what you're asking from that question, but I don't really think that your nutritional status impacts your sleep that much. Unless you get to a point where you're a competitor and you're like super fucking lean, then obviously at some point your sleep is going to be impaired. But caloric status doesn't really make a whole lot of impact on my sleep, at least personally. And I don't think it's something that like is massively noticeable. What do you think about PHUL? I don't really know much about it. Mux, I remember hearing about it a lot. Like way when I started lifting. There's so many people that have done PHUL, and it's or maybe I'm thinking of fat, PHAT. I don't know. I think that these are like powerlifting programs, and that's not really my specialty. But those types of programs have been around forever, and I think that they're great beginner programs. And they may be good programs for more advanced people too. I'm just not educated on them, to be honest with you. It's raspberry lemonade. It's my go-to right now. Yeah. So I knew it was like some sort of lemonade something. The Dr. Pepper cream soda zero is also in my rotation. So Lucas, I have the cream soda Dr. Pepper in my fridge right now. Yeah, man, I gotta try this Mountain Dew. What Lucas, what's really fucking good is the Baja Blast. I don't even know if you can buy that in stores anymore. I know you can get it at Taco Bell, but the zero sugar Baja Blast, that stuff is good. And they used to make Code Red in zero sugar, and that stuff was fucking amazing. They don't make that anymore. Damn, I didn't know dumbbell lateral raise wasn't optimal. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely consider that there are better lateral raises than the dumbbell lateral, but I don't think the dumbbell lateral is bad. Arm measurement, Assad, I have no clue. I honestly do not think I have ever once in my entire life taken a tape measure and measured my arm. Or any muscle, like my legs, nothing. I just don't give a shit at all. I just could not give a fuck. People say it's hard to gain strength on a cut. I'm on a cut and it's fairly easy. 4-ish years lifting. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be that guy either, but honestly, when I cut, like, I have no problems continuing to create my strength. Eventually there comes a point where like I've been cutting for so long and I've lost so much weight from the starting point that like it comes to a halt. But like for the first couple months of a cut, like my gym performance continues to increase. So Druzy, I agree with you on that. I think that's just like people really not keeping track of their recovery capabilities and monitoring their training volume. Because if you have those two things monitored and you adjust them accordingly, like the progress in the gym takes care of itself. How do you feel about training 6 days a week, Kyle? I think 6 days a week is too much. I had somebody ask the same exact question in a Q&A that I did, which I'm rendering right now. That should be in my YouTube channel, and hopefully by tomorrow or the day after. But that's way too much for most people. I noticed that I have grown muscle, and then I realized that probably could be because I'm... Let's see. And I realize that probably could be because I'm not eating enough. Yeah, Gonzalo, dude, you gotta eat. You have to be in a surplus to gain muscle, so don't be afraid to gain weight. It's part of the game. Do you think you struggle to put on muscle? Train a few times a week with a basic split. I don't know. I don't know if I struggle to or not. I guess I don't really pay attention to if I struggle or not. I just enjoy training so much. Like, even if I didn't build any muscle at all, like, I would still do the same shit that I'm doing because I just love being in the gym. So I don't know, dude. I don't know if I struggle to put on muscle or not. Yo, what's going on, Doug? How you doing? Best vitamin mineral supplements to take. I don't really take multivitamins or multi-minerals. I would just eat your fruits and vegetables. But I mean, if you're gonna buy a vitamin and mineral, I would get one from like a respected brand like Life Extension. Who else? Thorne. I'd get it from a good brand. Now. Trying to kiss? T4. Square up, buddy. Pucker up. Can you build muscle in a 500 calorie deficit? Probably not, Jaden. I mean, not to a degree that you're gonna notice anything. Do you ever feel like doing non-optimal exercises? I feel like bench, deadlift, and squatting again for fun. So guys, okay, I feel like I have to address this right now. Like, where are we getting this idea that benching, squatting, and deadlifting are not optimal exercises? Like, where are we getting this idea that those are not optimal exercises? Like, I hope that you guys aren't like, I hope that I am not influencing that, because I do not think that the bench, deadlift, and squat are non-optimal exercises. I do not think that at all. So I want to nip that in the bud right now. If that opinion is getting spread because of things that I am saying or portraying, I want to nip that in the bud right now, that is not at all what the fuck I'm saying. Alex, those exercises are literally the bread and butter movements. Benching, deadlifting, squatting, overhead pressing, maybe a row. I mean, those are the basic fundamental movement patterns that we're doing in the gym, in all sports. Bodybuilding, CrossFit, fucking powerlifting, whatever. That's what we're doing. So where are we getting this idea that those exercises are not optimal? I think those are the most optimal exercises that you can be doing. Don't cut or bulk, but can lift similar and get similar results, but I don't train as much. Is that genetic? I don't know. I don't really understand your question. That was kind of worded weird. Height and weight. I'm 5'8" and 208. Should you deload in arms too? I can easily feel no problem at all in them. You don't have to. I deload everything. It's really up to you. I enjoy your lives. Thanks for the thoughtful responses. Druzy, thank you for the good questions, man. I had a couple good questions from you, so I appreciate you tuning in, bro. Thank you. I hope that you turn into the next one. I appreciate it. Can you build muscle in a 500 calorie deficit? No. I answered that already. How big is it? 2 inches at most. Once you figure out progressive overload, the gym becomes so fun. It's like going for a PR each set. Yeah, I agree, Lucas. I get people that ask me all the time, like, fucking, do you enjoy training this way? And I'm like, dude, this is like the only way that I could train. I could not go into the gym and just fucking wing it. What's best to sleep better? Gonzalo, you need to set like a nighttime routine, and you need to dedicate the last hour of your day to calming down and relaxing and unwinding so that you get good sleep. I mean, 18 to 19% body fat, don't know to lean, bulk, or build muscle in a deficit. Trying to lose my love handles. Jaden, you need to cut, and you need to lose the body fat. And don't worry about what happens with building muscle in the deficit. Like that should not be your first priority right now. Your first priority should be to not be fat. What's your opinion on pec press arounds? I don't even know what that is. I mean, do you mean like a fly or something? I was the non-optimal guy from earlier about the big three, but I was wondering if you do. I don't ever see you do them. Okay, so let's think about the big three. I think we think about a bench, a squat, and a deadlift. So I don't deadlift, but I do RDL, which is very similar. I don't squat, but I hack squat because squatting just kills my lower back. And I don't barbell bench because it fucks up my shoulder. But I still squat. I just squat on a hack, or I squat in the Smith. And I still chest press. I just chest press with dumbbells or a machine. But I don't do them with barbells. But I don't do them, but I did them I have 7 years of doing those exercises. I did those exercises every week for 6 years straight, 7 years straight. Like, I mean, I've put my time in on those movements. So I know that for myself. Any advice for anxious, emotional eating? Feel like I always cut bulk short because of it. Sal, you need to find a different outlet for your emotions. Food is a material object. And ultimately, like, you are like making the decision to put that in your mouth. So, I mean, I think the first thing you need to do is own it, understand and admit to yourself that you're eating out of emotion, and then try to identify and find a different outlet for that emotion other than food. Was just wondering, no hate, and it was just Alex, I get what you're saying with the big three, but it's, and I get, but man, like when I get asked the question like so many times from so many different people, like I can't just help but think like this is something that people like actually think is true, and so I feel the need to address it. Have you tried doing the split squats on the shrug machine yet? No, I haven't. I haven't gotten to it yet. What's the price to take me pro? $100,000. What would you say to do while my back's strained besides rest? I mean, rest. You're looking for a secret answer, I think. I think you just need to rest until you get to the point where you can move it, and then when you can move it, like, don't do things that aggravate it. Favorite protein powder? I like Dymatize ISO 100. It's really one of the only ones that I can digest with no stomach problems. So I really like that one. Thoughts on close stance Smith machine squats for quads? I like the Smith machine squat, but your stance doesn't need to be close. Your stance, the width of your stance does not determine whether you hit your quads or not. That's a bro science theory. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. All right. What about how far your feet are in front of you? No, Stephen. The further your feet get away from you, the less knee flexion you get, so the less quad you would get. The ISO 100 Fruity Pebbles goes well with Rice Krispies cereal for a little mind trick. Yeah, that one's good. I used to do the Fruity Pebbles ISO 100 with Fruity Pebbles post-workout. When the cut starts, Gonzalo, what do you mean? Will you stay on that same body fat percentage? No, my body fat percentage will probably go up as I go heavier, as it does. You'll see eventually, Gonzalo, I'm sorry. I don't know where the strength loss and the deficit stigma comes from. Maybe an energy loss. Yeah, I mean, I think it's energy, but Lucas, I also don't think that the average person is like keeping track of their training volume and their training performance. And so like when your training performance starts to decrease or halt, like, you know that you need to make an adjustment to facilitate more recovery. But if you don't know what you're doing, how do you know what to change? And so that's the problem, is I think that most people just have no idea what it is that they're even doing. They have no way to quantify it. And so when it comes time to I always say that a calorie deficit is the true test of whether your training program actually works or not. Because I think all training programs work when you're in a calorie surplus. If you eat enough food and you're heavy and fat enough, like, you're gonna get stronger, period. But a deficit is really the true test of whether or not your training program actually works. Where you been? What do you mean, Panic Knifer? I've been on here every week. Are you Sasquatch? In another life, I was. Yes. I also hate how many people are quick to bash overcomplicating by tracking cows and lifts. Yeah, I agree with you, Lucas. Nothing, you don't make progress in anything without putting effort into it. So I don't know where people, like, get that idea either. What state are you from, Steven? I'm from Illinois. I must be missing your lives. I'm usually live on Tuesday and Thursday. Panic Knifer. Will you perma-bulk forever? Gonzalo, I just finished up a cut. I was just dieting for 8 weeks. Actually, I probably dieted for close to 10 weeks. Why are you getting all of these misconceptions that I'm, like, perma-bulking? Did your buddy get moved to Iowa? Panic Knifer, that's in, like, a couple weeks, I think. I think it's in a couple weeks is when he's moving. I just talked to him on Sunday night. So, but it's coming up, that's for sure. I think it's probably closer to, like, June, July, if I'm being realistic. But yeah, we'll do, bro. I'm usually on like Tuesdays. Most Tuesdays I'm on, and then sometimes Thursdays too, and then occasionally, every once in a while, here and there on a weekend. Am I still allowed to use knee sleeves if I can only squat 135 for 6, or is that too goofy? The question that I would ask yourself is, are you using knee sleeves because you need them, or are you using knee sleeves because you see that everyone else uses them and you think that that's something that you need to do? If you're using knee sleeves, and you need to be honest with yourself, if you're using knee sleeves because you see everyone else using knee sleeves, then I probably would not use them. But if you feel like you actually do need them, then yeah, sure, who gives a shit? Yeah, if you like them, then who gives a fuck what anyone thinks? Just wear them. I wear toe shoes in the gym. Like, who gives a fuck, dude? We're not in the gym to impress other people. How do you structure your Excel when documenting progress? I just have, like, a horizontal chart. Nothing, Let me pull it up for you, Epstein. All right. How do I switch cameras? All right, Epstein. I hope you're still in here. Let me try and fucking change my camera. I'm not really sure how to do that. If you even can do that in here. I'm sure you got to be able to rotate your camera. Switch to the other side. Am I tripping or can you not do that? Flip camera right here. All right. Epstein. So this is it. This is the session. And then to the right and left, I just have horizontal. And I just log it like this. That's it. If I can progressively overload during a cut, mean muscle built or just maintained? It probably, I mean, it's definitely maintaining. And, I mean, you probably are building muscle. But it's a good thing. Good things are happening. Have you ever competed? If not, will you in the future? I have not, and yes, I will. And I would love to. I just need to be bigger. You ever get wandering pain in your shoulder and then your neck and then ankle? No. Sorry, but no. Thoughts on bent over rows? I love them. Thoughts on heavy barbell rows? Love them. Why don't you program them? Because my lower back can't handle it right now. What do you think of using yohimbine for fasted cardio? I've heard of good benefits. It can help. I really would only use it when you're really, really lean. That's really only when it's going to bring you any benefit anyways. It can, and for a lot of people does cause anxiety. So a lot of like cold sweats and elevated heart rate and things like that. So keep that in mind. And you also need to understand that yohimbine does not work anywhere near as well if there's any insulin in the system at all. So it needs to be taken completely fasted, like water, and that's it. No coffee, no like energy drink or nothing. Water only. But it'll get your heart rate. It gets your heart rate going, and I think it negatively impacts your sleep. But it will help you get some last little bits of fat off. But like I said, you should really only use it at the end. It's not something you should be using the whole time. And if you did, would you exchange it for an upper back exercise or a hip hinge? I would do it for a hinge, Scobie. It's more of an erector exercise than an upper back movement. It's not really that great at training your upper back. It's an erector movement. What do you think about the V grip on lat pull downs? I don't like it, but if you like it, then continue to use it. But I don't like it. It's too narrow and it hurts my elbows and my wrists. Yeah, that's what I noticed. I'll be cold and sweating at the same time while doing cardio. Yeah, the cold sweats is a pretty common one with yohimbine. Is half to 1 pound per week a good rate of gain? Yeah, that's a good rate. What's your day job? Steven, I manage a GNC. What would you say is too fast to gain? Anything faster than 1 pound a week? Would T-bar bent overs be fine as a row? So what you do with your upper back isn't as important. Yeah, that's the T-bar row is a fine movement. It's a great movement. I know you were. Do you think pump powders are overrated? I feel they barely help my workout. Tisher, I feel like all pre-workouts are overrated. Whether it's a stimulant one or a pump one, they're all overrated. Tobute, thoughts on smelling salts? I've never used them. Yeah, I've never noticed much benefit from any pre. No, I agree with you. And it's kind of weird how like the pre-workout thing is like a religion. Like every person is like, gotta have my fucking pre-workout. Thoughts on rack chins? I think they're great. They're hard as fuck though. Do you plan cheat meals or let them naturally come? I just let them come naturally whenever they do. I don't really plan. Unless it's like me and my girlfriend's anniversary or something, or like, you know, something like that. Like, obviously, like, we plan where we're gonna go to eat, but thoughts on eating meat instead of chicken to boost gains? Chicken is meat, bro. What do you mean? Harder than pull-ups? I think they're both pretty hard, Johnny. Red meat. Yeah, I am a fan of red meat, Gonzalo. I think red meat's probably the best protein source that you can eat. All right, guys, I'm going to let this go for about 5 more minutes. So let's just, we'll use this as an opportunity here to get our last rounds of questions in. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this one wrapped up. We'll get this one wrapped up and I got 2 meals to eat. 2 meals to eat and then bedtime. What happened with the Q&A user? I will show you what happened with the Q&A. I'm rendering it right now. I got an issue that needs some wisdom. I got a neighbor who steals my parking spot. It's assigned parking, and I already confronted her, and she keeps taking it. So who... Do you live in like an apartment building or something? Like who is the person who is like in charge of that? Obviously, if it's assigned parking, then like somebody, like there's a landlord or a property manager or something. I would take it to them. Do overhead press machines tie in any upper pec like high incline presses do? It depends on the angle of the machine. Most like pin loaded and plate loaded machines aren't really going to bring a ton of upper pec in. They're pretty front delt dominant. Will biking to the gym affect the gains? No. Unless you're like biking to the like up a mountain or some shit and you're like exhausted by the time you get to the gym, but do you like Chick-fil-A? Yeah, I do like Chick-fil-A. Why are you juiced up yet when you haven't reached your natural potential yet? No hate. Well, first, I don't know how I could take that as like anything less than hate, really. Why am I juiced up? That's a decision that I made. Look, I may make a video on it in detail at some point. But I'm juiced up because I fucking want to be. And that's the end of it. Yeah, hi XI. I mean, I get it. I probably answered that a little more aggressively than I needed to, but I am because I want to be, and that's the choice that I made. How often and what range should we go upping the calories to not get fat on a bulk? You up your calories when your weight isn't moving anymore, and I would not gain any faster than 1 pound a week. Because I'm doing a tricep press and overhead press in my full body for 2 to 4 rotations and don't know if pec will be worked. I mean, probably not to a significant extent, but just throw on a fly or something. Can you explain it more detailed? Since many people are hesitating it, I want to know your reasoning. Okay, hi, I started taking gear because I want to make this I want to make this coaching, bodybuilding, I want to make this my life, my career. And could I have done that in natural bodybuilding? Potentially. But I went on doctor-prescribed hormone replacement therapy at 22. So I lost over 100 pounds in a year, and my testosterone levels dropped to 188, and they never came back naturally. So I went and I saw an endocrinologist, and I got blood work done, and I've been on doctor-prescribed TRT. I'm 25 and I've been on since I was 22. And so right then and there, like if you're on TRT, like you can no longer be a natural athlete. And so I decided since I can no longer compete in natural federations, then I'm going to actually fucking do this. I'm not going to get my ass kicked in these not drug tested federations by people that are using just because I'm not using. So there's your answer. Or did you buy your microplates? I bought them on Amazon. Gonzalo, would you consider to go 100 calories every time you get stuck on a weight? No, I would go like 3 to 500. 100 calories is pussy shit. Commit. I mean, people add these 100 calories here and there, and then next thing you know, it's been months and they haven't gone anywhere. Like, just get aggressive. Add food in right off the rip. Go. Get it moving. Get the weight moving. What causes low test? I mean, there are lots of things that cause it. All right, guys, couple more minutes here. Last round of questions. Absolute max I'll be on is like another 10 minutes. I need to get wrapped up and get another meal in here, and then get all my stuff ready for tomorrow. Losing weight so fast will probably damage testosterone. It's hard to say, Gonzalo. Not always. But yeah, when you lose like 120 pounds in a year, like, I mean, that's a significant amount of weight loss in a pretty quick time. So you don't lose that much weight without being in a pretty aggressive deficit, and being in a deficit that long is gonna have negative health repercussions for you. Macros are macros. I think you mean like if it fits your macros. I mean to a certain extent. I agree with it, but I mean, there's no way that you're gonna convince me that the carbs that are in like Skittles are the same thing as the carbs in a sweet potato. So, I mean, to an extent. I'm in a deficit, but I'm still not losing weight. Well, I got news for you, buddy. If you were in a deficit, you would be losing weight. So, I mean, if it's only been a short period of time and your weight has stalled, then I mean, that could just be like water retention and stuff. But if your weight has not been moving for a while, you're not in a deficit. I think I fried my metabolism. Cape Cod, that does not exist. Your metabolism is not frugal like that. You're just not in a deficit, and that's the reality. Is it okay to take a lot of variation in back training? Yeah. I mean, there's a point where too much variation is not going to help you, but I know that some people don't believe in protein shakes. No, Steven, whey protein is actually like it's probably the most bioavailable protein source that we have available to us. So people that say that whey protein is like an inferior protein source are uneducated. It's actually probably the superior protein source, especially for building muscle, because it's so high in BCAAs. So whey is not a bad thing at all. And anybody who says that it is using bro science instead of actual real science. Now, if whey is the only protein source that you're using, that's a problem. And that's why there needs to be some whole food meals as well. But whey is perfectly fine. When I'm deep in the off season, I'm having 7 meals a day, and 3 of them are whey as my protein source. 150 to 175 grams of protein through eggs, meat, and then shakes. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I don't know what my numbers are off the top of my head, but I would say probably 75% of my protein comes from meat, and then the other 25% comes from shakes. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Thoughts on Cedric? Man, just fucking tragic, man. I mean, just look, I don't know Cedric. I didn't know who Cedric was, obviously. But all the things that people are saying about him, you know, I think it's just a fucking horrible loss for the sport. And what's really interesting is that, like, a lot of Cedric's... Okay, so Cedric is one of the few people that people had a lot of nice things to say about, like, while he was still living. Like, I mean, I remember people saying how great Cedric was, like, while he was still alive. And I think the fact that he passed is just fucking tragic for the sport. It really, really is. I hope that it inspires, like, the IFBB. Like, we gotta fucking do something about this. I mean, I obviously love bodybuilding more than anything. I mean, I want to make bodybuilding my career, but I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. Like, I don't want to fucking die at 40, 45 because of the choices that I made in bodybuilding. So I feel like the sport has to go a different way to prevent this from happening, and I'm on board with that, because as many people that have passed away in the past couple of years, it really makes me, like, second guess this a lot. Any advice for bulking? Clean bulking right now, but I just feel fat. Can't see the reasoning. I mean, you're gonna feel fat in a bulk, man. It's just part of the game. Just, you gotta keep going. That's not the answer people want to hear, but I think it's the truth. Trusted calculator for maintenance calories. I don't really use calculators, man, and there's no calculator that I would trust, really. Tell us about your childhood trauma. I would rather not. My new life hack is blending my oats into my shakes, since I have a hard time eating them. Yeah, I blend my cereal into my shakes. It's easy to eat. Best overall back builder. I don't know, man. There are so many great movements. A good pull down, hip hinge, a good row, 1 gram per pound of protein a day. Yeah, that's fine, Johnny. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get this one wrapped up. I need to get a meal in here, and then start winding my day down. I have a push session tomorrow morning, which you guys will see the highlights of on Instagram and TikTok tomorrow afternoon. As I am recording this video, as I've showed a couple times, I am rendering a video for YouTube, which will go up either tomorrow or the day after, which is a Q&A session that I did on TikTok. I put a video up and I asked some questions, and I sat down and I answered them pretty extensively. So that should be up. I'll update you guys, obviously, when that goes up. Thank you guys for tuning into the live tonight. It had been a while since I had done one of these, about a week, and we got some really good turnout and some really good questions. So I'm glad to see all you guys tonight, and I hope that I will see you guys in the next one. Until next time, take care of yourself, guys. Have a good night.